I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. This is A World Gone Mad. Natasha and I went to the No Kings rally in Arizona Saturday, and we were surprised. First, because of the turnout, easily double versus the one before. But mostly, we were surprised with the amount of young people who attended. And I'm talking about kids in their teens to 20s. Very enthusiastic they were, holding signs, screaming out loud, thumbs up, greeting cars as they went around the corner honking back at them. We both stayed about an hour and a half, and as inspiring as this was, something was missing for me. Now, the large crowds all over the country are great. The rallies in other countries in support are equally great. But something is missing because at the end of those 3 hours, everyone goes back to their way of life and it's business as usual. Now, No Kings rallies are a demonstration of how fed up we are, how frustrated we are with Donald Trump and his minions. It's not just people who normally protest, but people who have never protested before show up at the rallies. And that tells you something. But something is missing. The growing crowds are great. The rallies are getting deeper and deeper into deep red states. The people who actually attend these rallies represent only a small percentage of the people across this country who feel the same way, but don't attend for whatever reason. But the problem is these rallies are every few months for a few hours, and then we all go back home and go about our lives as best as possible. I'm not saying these No Kings rallies are meaningless. I'm saying the missing part is this. And some of you may take what I'm about to say wrong, and I will become very unpopular with you. But hear me out, please. Showing up to the No Kings rally is nice. It's our civic duty. It's visible. It makes you feel like you did something. But let's be honest, just showing up doesn't change a damn thing. Because protest isn't just about being seen. It's about applying pressure. Right now, a lot of these rallies are basically political tailgates. People gather, they vent, they hold signs, maybe chant a little, and then everyone goes home. Nothing actually moves. The protests that do work, they don't just express frustration. They force a response. They have clear demands, specific targets, and a willingness to make people in power deeply uncomfortable. Not politely concerned, uncomfortable. That means refusing to cooperate. It means disruption. It means making the system feel it, economically, politically, socially. Because power doesn't respond to vibes, it responds to consequences. I'm not talking about physical violence at all. What's missing right now isn't passion. There's plenty of that. It's structure, it's focus, it's follow through. The No Kings rallies are important, but they have to be 10 times the size it is now. Plus, if you want real change, it can't just be we showed up, we had signs, we made our point, see you in a few months. It has to be we're not going away, and we're going to keep applying pressure until something gives. Boycotts, strikes, coordinated action, the kinds of things that don't just get attention, They force decisions, because otherwise, these protests become something else entirely. Not engines of change, just group therapy sessions with better signage. It's a great start, but we can do better. You know, there's a growing congressional collective who won't see re-election this fall. The larger pattern is striking. The New York Times reported, and let me quote this, okay? The number of Republicans departing the House this cycle is one of the highest since 1930, according to Brookings Vital Statistics on Congress. Now, this cycle's Republican departures are surpassed only by 2018, the midterm election year during President Trump's first term, when his party was also bracing for big losses. The GOP lost 40 House seats and the majority that year. Now, such a high rate of turnover in the majority party typically reflects incumbents preferring to leave Congress than risk serving in the minority. More than 30 Democrats departed the House during the 2022 midterm election cycle, in which Republicans won the majority. Think about this, everyone. The rats on the Republican side are leaving the sinking ship. Birthright citizenship. It's at the Supreme Court this week, and President Trump is worried. Here's what Trump posted on Truth Social. And yes, I know you hate hearing what he has to say, but this is important. This is what Trump said about birthright citizenship and the case in front of the Supreme Court. This is Donald's words, okay? Birthright citizenship is not about rich people from China and the rest of the world who want their children and hundreds of thousands more for pay to ridiculously become citizens of the United States of America. It is about the babies of slaves. I can't make this up, people. We are the only country in the world that dignifies this subject with even discussion. Look at the dates of this long ago legislation, the exact end of the Civil War. The world is getting richer, selling citizenships to our country, while at the same time laughing at how stupid our U.S. court system has become. Tariffs, dumb judges, and justices will not a great country make. Okay. First of all, Donald, we're not the only country that does birthright citizenship. And the Amendment Citizens Clause says, quote, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside, end quote. This should be quite interesting Wednesday to see how the Supreme Court justices frame questions to the lawyers that determine which way their ruling will go. Either this will be another conservative Supreme Court justice misunderstanding of the law and kissing Donald's ass, or they will actually follow what the amendment states. Let's see how much damage the Supreme Court does with their ruling on this case. So Donald says Cuba is next, and there's a blockade there. So take these 2 points that are happening and try to reconcile it with this. All Trump supporters continue to deny that Trump aligns with Putin. Trump says he has no problem with Russian oil tanker bringing relief to Cuba despite the blockade. U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday night said he has no problem with a Russian oil tanker off the coast of Cuba delivering relief to the island, which has been brought to its knees by a U.S. oil blockade. We have a tanker out there. We don't mind having somebody get a boatload because they have to survive, Trump told supporters and reporters as he flew back to Washington. Not aligned with Putin, not doing Putin's bidding, definitely not a puppet under Putin. Seriously? And this came from the AP wire service. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday threatened widespread destruction of Iran's energy resources and other vital infrastructure, including desalination plants that supply drinking water, if a deal to the end of the war is not reached shortly. Iran, meanwhile, struck a key water and electrical plant in Kuwait, and an oil refinery in Israel came under attack. Now, Israel and the U.S. launched a new wave of strikes on Iran as the war raged with no end in sight. Now, Trump's new threat came in a social media post. Earlier comments to the Financial Times suggested American troops could seize Iran's Karg Island and its oil export hub. Trump has repeatedly claimed to be making diplomatic progress, though Tehran denies negotiating directly. While ramping up his threats and sending thousands more U.S. troops to the Middle East, Trump keeps pushing the pedal to the metal when it comes to Iran. And here's a special cherry on the top of the whipped cream. Spain closes the airspace to U.S. planes in Iran war. That's Spain closing their airspace to U.S. Donald Trump the stable genius? Or is this just a complete clusterfuck? I think we all know the answer to this. A recession is guaranteed because of all of this, but when? The economy is under pressure and oil prices spiking higher could tip it over into a recession. I'll say something again that I've said multiple times in previous episodes to all the listeners, and you're probably sick of me saying this, but it's important, so listen carefully. Gather your extra water and your food supplies and your other things that you need now, not later. Things are not going to get smoother with Donald the delusional one. You know I'm right. You know, I hate every episode having to talk about Trump. I hate that every episode I come across and present to you, and I give it to you as negative. I'd like to bring you snowflakes and puppy dogs each time, but that reality, that's not happening right now. So we have to stay diligent. I can't even say the word right. We have to stay diligent. I have to tell you the truth, not sugarcoat things. And if some of you are pissed at me for being upfront and honest and based in reality, then fine. I'll take that criticism. I'd rather be me than have to fake stories for a podcast or a Substack article or a video on TikTok just to gain more followers. I don't play the popularity game like others do. And quite frankly, I suffer for this. I don't get the hundreds of emails and comments like other podcasters or broadcasters do. I don't get the support, whether it be emotionally or financially, like all the others do. But I will still draw a line in the sand. I will not bullshit you. I will not make up garbage stories just to be liked more and more popular with my podcast. If you want to email me, you will, wolfpacktalks@gmail.com. If you'd like to send me a comment, you can. And most of all, if you'd like to help me in what my family and I are going through right now, it would truly be appreciated. A lot of you did, thank you. And some of you multiple times, really thank you. The link to how to help us is in the description where you get my podcast from. If you don't find the link, ask me through email or text, and I'll send it to you. We are in overwhelmingly stressful times right now, Wolfpack, and we're trying to stand up and weather this horrendous storm. I'm here to convey to you what's happening the best that I can. Thank you. I really could use your support. I'm Jeff Allen Wolf. This is A World Gone Mad. I'll be back Wednesday. Until then, I urge you, the Wolfpack, remain skeptical. Question everything. Please, don't lose hope. And most of all, Stay alert.